Hello guys, and welcome to episode 16 of my Songs of Syx playthrough series. So, I assume if you're watching this, you've watched most of the episodes. You're watching episode after episode, and you're not just watching things as your first episode or a random episode. If that is the case, probably best not to watch this one. But basically, I'm going to announce straight away that this is probably going to be my last Songs of Syx episode. And watch me say this and then come back in like 2 weeks' time with a new one. But the reasoning is, my channel is taking a turn. I'm trying to focus more on my special project content, such as my Project Zomboid, one-off videos, my Rimworld one-off videos, and Songs of Syx. However much I really enjoy, putting videos up for it, I don't see much long-term growth for the channel in this, because a lot of people cover this game better than I can, and I can't really do much exciting one-off videos. So, I do plan to come back to this game, and I wanted to say this because obviously we're playing here on V64, version 64 of the game. And version 65 actually came out, I think now, 3 months ago, or 2 to 3 months ago now, and I really want to play it. I haven't actually played it yet, and I really want to cover that. So my thought is, not that version, but when another version comes out in the future, version 66, even if it's quite small, I can maybe come back with another series. Hopefully my channel will be a bit bigger so I can bring a bit more love to this game, get some new people involved. But yeah, so with that raid happening on our base in the previous episode, I thought it's a good time to conclude the series. We, defended the city from attackers. We raised up a big population, 1,100. We got a big army. We made loads of money. We did lots. And the only next goal for me would be conquering another nation. And I think that would take another 4 to 5 episodes, which is obviously 4 to 5 more weeks. That's quite a long time for me in the short run. So yeah, I want to end it here. So I know that's quite a depressing way to start the video, but I thought might as well come clean. Probably saw it in the title if I've named it aptly. But yeah, so this episode I just want to do sort of a rundown of the series. Try and finish off on some final things you're working on. For example, just the slaver construction, the school that we're getting built. So to get our our money situation as we bought loads. I was also reading a lot of comments, people talking about mercenaries. I didn't even know they were in the game, let alone that you could, use them and win very effectively with them. I have no idea how you get mercenaries. So the comments told me all about them, but not actually how you get them. So I obviously can look it up on the internet, but I at least know for next time that maybe mercenaries would be better, because my economy is all about pumping out the most resources to get the most money and specializing heavily in it. So why bother having to spend hundreds of thousands of coins and all the armor when I can just buy some mercenaries for the short time to then conquer some land or defeat some army. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, money situation, look at that. We spent all of our money, I think we're down to like 80k, or at least only about 100k. Now we're back up to 200k. We've got 83 workers. So I think yeah, let's just start playing around with all this stuff. Let's get some of our jobs working again. But we stopped in taking people. But actually, yeah, no, we've got archery range off. I also turned off my new training ground. We obviously built a whole new training ground for that battle. That battle was absolutely hilarious. We took on an army, and I thought we were actually going to get beaten. And we ended up beating them, I think, with 1 casualty or something ridiculously stupid like that. So, yeah, after all of that, it was all a complete waste of my time. But hey, that was a great learning experience to show that actually having an army, trained pretty damn well is actually really, really good. So yeah, I'll take that in for my next playthrough of the game. But in terms of what else we could have done in this series, this is what I'm just thinking about. Read some comments as well, some interesting comments, where someone said that actually this game is quite realistic with the market prices. So my playthrough style of really, really heavily specializing in raw resources isn't actually long-term viable, because you'll drive down the raw resource prices, and we can probably see that. Look, yeah, we can already see it. Apples, 9 coins per apple selling price, which is terrible compared to what it was. I think when we started, it was like 12 or 13, maybe even higher than that. So that's terrible. We can see that livestock actually, no, it's still very expensive. 164 we're selling them for. Grains come down to 4. It was only about 5 or 6 before, but still, that's decreased. Leather, I don't know if it's decreased, but I'm pretty sure it has. I'm pretty sure we used to sell leather for 50 something. So you can see a lot of the stuff I sell is decreasing in value. And obviously, if we were to keep going more and more and more, it would decrease further and further and further until we can't sell that product anymore for any real value. So he said instead, it is better in the late game to start focusing on manufacturing. And I completely agree, actually, because by also manufacturing, it means in that exact situation we saw with the siege, well, it's in the name, we got sieged, we couldn't have any exports come in. So all that equipment that we ordered for the siege didn't actually arrive. So what in that situation, it was fine. If we had been besieged by an actually strong army, they would have just starved us to death. We couldn't have sallied out. They would have cut off our weapons. They would have cut off our food supplies. We would have been screwed. So again, food, well, that's out of my control. If we can't get the bread, we can't get the bread. I'm not going to go into food industry, but weapons and armor, we could make ourselves. And then while we're getting sieged, we could build up a big stock of those items. So that is something to think about for the next playthrough. Is maybe I'm still a little bit too small to think about that just yet. But if I wanted to progress further from here, I could actually think about getting some more researchers up and then going into smithing. That's brewery. That's not smithing. Here's smithing, smelting metals. Aha, here. There's smithy with armor smithing and weapon smithing. So we could think about that. And then I don't have to smelt my own metals. I don't have to mine my own ore and mine my own coal. I could still buy them in, but then just smith the weapons and the armor. And then if I specialize in them, yes, it'll cost me a lot of points, but I could specialize in these. Machinist specialization. I could then maybe also then in the future, if I did this more and more, go from a indoctrination style to a specialization style. I can get, if we look here, the nobility. I can't actually. Let's just click on some random person just so I can demonstrate. I could elevate someone to then become the master of the forge. We get 15% to our smithies. So I could do other things to boost it, and then we actually get a decent amount of weapons and armor being created for us. So that is something to think about for the next playthrough. If I want to go for a big army style, oh, look at this, we've also got a slaver. I don't think we actually have any slaves because all of our prisoners ran away. So we've got 20 prisoners. So I'm actually going to close this building down. We don't need this one just yet. The school, we need fabrics and paper. So let's buy some of them in. But yeah, so the money situation you can see is absolutely fine. We're going up to 250k, and that's after I've just bought in some new stuff, and we've got loads of apples left to sell. Yeah, you can just see that we're doing absolutely fine on the money situation. So mercenaries probably would have been the shout. Oh, look at the amount of workers we've got as well, 118. Which buildings did I shut off? Embassy I shut off, so let's bring the embassy back. But still, we've got 115 workers, 110 now. Wow. So yeah, I think we were doing very, very good. And I think if I'd continue this series, I'd have a genuine shot at trying to become a big nation to take on other players. Because I could just keep growing and growing and growing, getting more and more people then specialising in manufacturing. But what I also want to think about in the future is maybe if I come back for another series, is to maybe play as a different race. Because I play the humans quite a lot, funny enough. So maybe I could come back as the orcs. I can't remember what they're called actually. They're not called orcs in this, obviously. They're called tilapis. Tilapis or tilapis. I'll come back as them, and they're very good hunters, very good animal herders, and they're very good at making bows and forestry as well. So I could come back with like a carpentry focused archer army that has lots of meat, farming and hunting. Could be cool idea. Or maybe play as a completely different race I haven't actually played before, like the Garthamis or the Garthamis, I don't know how you say them, or maybe even like the Amevias. Dondorians, I think I'll leave because I'm just not good enough to play them effectively. But yeah, there's definitely a lot more we could do in the future. Trying to think what else we can cover in this episode, really. If you're still watching, then I'm very surprised. If you've watched every single episode, then well, bless your heart, because this has not been the most engaging series. So hopefully you found it relaxing or whatever. But yeah, what I'd like to say before I head off, again, it's been a very, very short episode, but just more of an ending informative episode. But yeah, what I want to say is, if you've got any feedback, any ideas, any sort of educational points, maybe you play the game a lot and you're like, oh my god, Hazonic, you're terrible at this game, anything like that, please leave it in the comments. I have the best chance of making the next series on this game on either, again, build 65 or most likely build 66. Yeah, leave your comments down below so I can use that feedback ready for the next season, so I can make the next one better than this one. So yeah, thanks a million guys for watching. If you have watched all the episodes, then yeah, thank you so much. And if you haven't watched them all and you're not subscribed, then please do consider subscribing, and hopefully then you'll be notified when I come back to this game in the future. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next one.